Hey kids, it's Pastor Jared here with another God's Creature feature. And today, guess what we got? We got a garter snake. Check it out. Now, I got a bunch of little baby frogs in there, but that's not the main feature. The main feature is this snake here. So, these garter snakes, or garter snakes, G-A-R-T-E-R. I always used to say gardener because I thought, well, they come from the garden. They're very, very friendly snakes. Now, I put her in this cage right now just because I picked her up and they're quick, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. Now, God created these beautiful creatures and they're actually quite friendly. And she was minding her own business and hanging out with two other friends, so I picked her up just for an example for you guys. But you know, God made snakes and not all of them are poisonous and mean. And as a kid, I used to love picking these up and playing with them. Me and my sister would pick them up and she'd let them crawl through her hair. Now, garter snakes, they are often noticed and known by the 3 stripes on their back. You can see those yellow stripes goes all the way down their body, and she's trying to hop out. They're pretty common to North America. They're usually found in that area. Now, you see how she's flickering her tongue? Let's see if she'll do it again. There you go. You see that? Now, there's something really cool that God did. He made them with a forked tongue, okay? And what this tongue does when they flicker it through the air is they're tasting all the chemicals in the air. You know how there's moisture in the air, kids? And there's water? Well, when she flickers her tongue, she's picking up chemicals, brings her tongue back into her mouth. And can you kids take your tongue and put it on the roof of your mouth like that? And when you're doing that, well, she kind of does that same thing, but she's got a spot that God created for her where she can insert her forked tongue right into the roof of her mouth. There's a little slot. And then there's an organ, kind of like our brain processes different things. She has something special where it processes the chemicals she just tasted from the air, and it will help her find her next meal. Now, something that's cool, and if you love frogs, I'm sorry, you gotta understand the circle of life. Sometimes frogs get eaten. Now, they feed on frogs and tadpoles. Now, I got a bunch of baby tadpoles in here because we recently drained a pool and there's tons of them. So I just wanted to show you. I don't know if she's gonna eat one. She may not be super hungry, but this is what they feed on, is little baby frogs. And yes, they are cute. And I know sometimes you're like, no, why? But we eat different creatures, like we eat chickens, and sometimes chickens are cute. So you just gotta understand they gotta eat. And they're not trying to do it to harm, they're trying to do it to survive. But another interesting thing about them is that they like the water. And garter snakes can swim. They can swim underwater, and that's how they find these frogs. Sometimes they swim underwater and catch a tadpole or something like that, and they'll punch and have a good time. Now, garter snakes, they have a couple defense mechanisms that they use because they're not poisonous, right? So there's certain things that they can do to help protect themselves. And one of them is they puff up. They'll expand their body. It's like taking a deep breath going, of course, I'm not that scary to you guys, but sometimes they'll puff themselves out and it'll scare off their predator. Now, other things, they will do something called musking. Musking is where they release a stinky smell. It's kind of like us farting, but they release something different. So if you ever play with a garter snake, and then you smell your hands afterward, you'll probably smell the musk that they've released on you. Now, they do that. And then another thing is biting. Yes, all snakes bite, They have to be able to bite. She's not biting me because I'm being gentle with her, and I think she knows that I'm a snake lover. So, anyways, those are their defense mechanisms, but one of their best defenses, kids, is running away. Now, I'm about to lay her down in the grass, and I want you to see how fast she goes. And I will end up returning her to her area where I picked her up from. That way she can go back to her home if she had kids or babies. But I want to show you how fast, and I'm gonna have to be quick following her to grab her in case she tries to get away, because she will. Okay, you see how she's getting all excited? She's gonna be quick. You ready, kids? Look at her go. Look how fast she is. And if I go for her like that, travels through. Pretty amazing how God created their bodies to wind like that, and she can just weave throughout any place. She gets going too. Now, sometimes it's hard to grab them because they move quick. Isn't that exciting? So another cool fact about this beautiful creation God's made is that, guess how many babies they have at one time? Take a guess, Pastor Annie. How many babies do you think they have at one time?
10?
Nope, higher.
20?
Nope, higher.
30?
Higher.
40?
Higher.
50?
Higher.
60?
Higher.
70?
Yes.
Wow.
70 to 80 babies in one birth. And I think she just pooped. I felt that on my foot.
Oh, yeah.
But she's probably trying to do it to get away. It happens. I'll wipe her
on
butt.
her body.
There you go. Wipe her butt. Okay. But, oh, now she's rolling. I'm going to put her back in the cage so she can roam around and feel comfy a little bit. Now, they have a lot of babies. So it's pretty amazing that God can create a creature that can have that many babies. And one little thing, when they're in captivity, like if you capture one of them and you have them as a pet, they could live 6 to 10 years. And that's a pretty good amount of time for these little guys. But if they're in the wild, and oftentimes birds are the ones that eat snakes, usually they live 2 years long. So it's kind of cool to take one in as a pet and actually feed it. Any snake has to warm up its body. There's a term for it. It's called ectothermic, meaning they got to use the sun to be able to move fast or to be able to digest their food. So it's as if me and you were to eat a meal. Well, we couldn't digest that meal unless we went and sat on a rock that was warm and warmed our body to a certain temperature. So that's what they do. So if you ever see a snake out bathing in the sun, that's usually what it's doing. It's preparing to eat or digest the food. Most garter snakes have the yellow stripes on the back. So that's how you can identify them. And they're very good for gardens. And that's why I confuse always saying gardener snakes, because as a kid I always said that. But they are very, very good for gardens, and they help keep the bugs from eating the plants. And so they're a big blessing, and God's created such a cool creature. Isn't that a wonderful looking snake? Okay, kids, well, this has been another God's Creature feature. It was fun having you and teaching you some stuff about God's creations, and we look forward to next time. Bye! We're going to release this off into the wild where it came from.
Sayonara.
Right there.